Hello, Aries. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a general read you're going to be dealing with. Of course, everything may not resonate, so take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel and follow the 3 Tarot She's review as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. Hmm. hmm. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Interesting, Aries. What is going on here? What does it mean to be a brother's keeper or a sister's keeper? And the thing about being your brother's keeper or being your sister's keeper is you're going to have to tell your brother or your sister or your friend or your loved one something they may not want to hear. Hmm. I'm kind of looking at a situation where they do emphasize, well, just to kind of show you, I mean, hell of a way to start with the devil. Like they're kind of doing something to themselves. I don't know why. I don't know what specifically that is. I don't know what for. It does kind of look as if it's a little bit of, my way or the highway. If it doesn't necessarily go in the direction they want things to go in, it's almost kind of like literally the devil energy. To hell with it all, then. And so they definitely make their decisions based off of emotions rather than logic. Um, and whatever this is between the two of you, it's like I said, yes, things could move forward. I don't know why there's kind of like this energy of like this hyped up, amped up, um, kind of like fight or flight survival mode kicking on. Because even when they show me things moving forward between the two of you, they show me initially like at first, like first instant, like okay, they're good, and then immediately after that, it's kind of like okay, now they're not good. And what I'm looking at here is the extremes of mental and emotional swings, but I'm looking at an imbalance. I'm looking at Well, the scales are, like I said, the scales are kind of tipped in the emotional and or spectrum of the situation more so rather than the logical or the intellect. And I'm not too sure exactly what that is. What they're emphasizing is like they're becoming fixated. There's the Five of Cups. But like I said, it's like that energy of fixation on something is sort of like you're doing to yourself. And I don't know why. I mean, I use this example all the time. Emotions come and go. So do thoughts and ideas, and so do trains of thoughts. They come and go. So if you make a decision based off of those two things, whether it be one or the other, and things are constantly changing, and you're constantly changing how you feel, and you're constantly changing what you think, you're being kind of dragged around here, floating around like a puppet on a string. But unfortunately, you kind of do it to yourself. You allow your thoughts or your ideas to kind of just take hold, and you allow your emotions and your feelings to kind of take hold. And before you know it, you're being controlled. Then you feel out of control. It's a level of, yeah, there's the world. It's a level of self awareness. When they say they know not what they do, what does that mean? They know not what they do. It means they act from a place where they don't think about their thoughts, they don't think about their emotions. They just do, they just act. It's kind of like animalistic nature. They just do. They don't question it, they don't think about it, they don't ponder it. I mean, with that world card there immediately to the tower, it's sort of, it's like, yeah, you can kind of get through this. But the way through this literally is a breakthrough. And what do they say? Usually, when life starts throwing you difficulties and challenges, and it's pressure, 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 it's because you're getting. Usually, they say usually you're getting ready for your next level. You're getting ready to evolve. You're getting ready to literally break on through to the other side. But what happens is like people resist that. It's that ego that starts to resist it. It's that shadow of like, no, 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 no. And so there's that fight or flight survival, like I said, that mechanism kicking online and saying, no, 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 because the ego is fighting to survive. That shadow is fighting to kind of rule. Right into the Eight of Swords. Once again, the thoughts. Kind of like, wrapped up in one, like I said, too wrapped up and too invested in one's own thoughts and one's own emotions. Um, this is like you've gone down the rabbit hole. But even in Alice in Wonderland, Alice hits rock bottom. But this is an energy. Can you imagine like the constant energy of just falling, 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 just kind of tumbling all the way down, but not stopping. That's kind of like the rabbit hole of the mind. It just keeps going. It's just continuous. Um, Such is the mind. Excuse me. And that's kind of that's kind of the interesting thing about this is, um, where are they going? Where are they going? Because so much could be going on internally for them. But it's like that movie. I believe I said it yesterday or the day before. It's titled "Are You Here Yet?" meaning you may be physically there, but mentally and emotionally, you may be far, far, far away. It's like the opposite of the 1,000-yard stare where someone's just kind of spaced out. It's like your mind is so full of thoughts, emotions, and feelings. It's almost probably suffocating. And I kind of feel like that's what it is for some reason, whatever is taking place, they're trying to identify those emotions. They're trying to identify those thoughts. And that's a hard thing to do because what happens is that self awareness, it's kind of like imagine taking your brain, duplicating it, taking it outside of your head, and then having your brain analyze your brain. And it's almost like a mirror amongst itself. Like I said, the infinity mirror of the mind, the self awareness, the awareness of being aware. It folds in on itself and almost creates this fifth, sixth, seventh dimensional construct, if you can kind of take it that direction. Infinite possibilities, in other words. There's infinite directions you can kind of take something, um, but it gets further and further away from singularity. That is a fractured mind. It's either a fractured mind, fractured psyche, fractured something. I don't know what that is though, because like I said, it's just um, that's part of the process is becoming whole again. It's sort of realizing where those fractures or splinters have taken place and kind of mending them back together. um, mm. I see where they're going with it. I don't know if that's going to help. I don't know if that's going to help. I mean, there's two types of people. Um, makes me think of gym rats. I prefer my suffering raw. It means, nah, I'll just kind of roll with the punches that life gives me. Other people are like, nah, kind of, pour me something, please. I prefer my suffering raw. You can choose to face the pain, accept it, realize it, learn from it, and use it to better yourself and grow and progress. Or you can run from it and literally suppress it and kind of shy away from it and then wonder why the problem keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's because it's not being dealt with. The resistance is like it's interesting because the resistance is what's actually feeding it. But they for some reason think they're shying away from it, like kind of like pushing it away. It doesn't work that way. What you resist persists. It's kind of like you have to face that shadow, face whatever demon that is, and confront it. And then this over here kind of goes over to, I believe it was either Gemini and Leo's energy. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. What I'm talking about is there may be addictions, substances, and vices in this, dependencies. Something tells me it's like whatever's going on might be about purging. It's like, get that shit out. Like, purge. Puke it out if you need to. Why shy away from it? Purge. When it comes up, it's going to be messy. It's going to be filthy, but it's necessary. Mm. There's two different Aries asking. Yeah, I see it. Um, you're energetically speaking, how you respond or react to your environmental or even internal, let's just say, um, circumstances, whether it's external or whether it's internal, how you respond or how you react determines what and who you become. It's the response. Hmm. Jeez. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. There is some sort of, I don't understand that. There is some sort of sense or feeling of like abandonment. I don't know how or what or from what. Um, and that's what's interesting is, again, it's the response of what kind of like what they go through. If, let's just say, if you have that feeling of abandonment or whatever is taking place between the two of you, Aries, if someone feels like there's abandonment, what are they chasing or pursuing in exchange because of that void? What are they like? What are they trying to fill that void with? Because that looks like abandonment. It's a swing, and that's what I'm talking about. It's a swing from one end to the other end, and it's an extreme swing. And with that extreme swing, you're going to constantly be in constant fluctuation. And so, therefore, it's never going to actually stabilize. It's just constantly this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way. And once again, that's the same thing with the mind, the thoughts and the emotions tugging you left and right, wondering, like, what's with the wobble? What do I feel like I'm, spread out into a million different directions or a million different pieces? It's the fractures, it's the splinters. They're trying to figure out how to kind of keep it together, how to keep it together and keep going. And that's the thing is it's sort of kind of like you have to sit with that uncomfortable feeling. What they say, um, if you're uncomfortable, good. You should be using that energy to grow, not run from it, not shy away from it. You're right exactly where you need to be to make yourself better, to do better for yourself. It almost seems and feels like they're trying to even reach for that lesson. It's weird. Like simultaneously, they're running from it, but they're also reaching for that, like for that lesson. It's kind of like it's one or the other. You can't have this contradicting idea of saying, I want to do better, I want to be better, but then don't take the steps necessary to do it. It's contradicting. Therefore, you stay the same. Therefore, you keep repeating the same circle, pattern, routine, habit, ritual, whatever it is, and get nowhere. You're kind of, like I used this example before, you're just a dog chasing your own tail. Imagine that, chasing your tail but trying to avoid your tail. Imagine a dog thinking my tail is chasing me and I'm trying to run from my tail, but I'm running in circles, and it's kind of like, that's a part of you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're just going to tire yourself out eventually. A little more. Yeah, there's that ego death. There it is. Um, it's a process. It takes a little bit of time. The impurities will settle on the bottom, and the perfection or the alchemical gold will be complete. That's the process. But in order for that process to take place, what are the colors? Black, then white, then red. It has to go through that dissolution first process. But eventually, what comes out afterwards, yeah, it's nice results. It's a nice product. Um, but it's going to be very uncomfortable initially. But that's the process. Bye.